The Warriors, a strength in numbers victory. No Steph, and the Warriors respond by winning anyway. You got a little bit of something from just about everybody. This truly was a strength in numbers win for the Warriors. Wow. Wow. What the Warriors just pulled off is nothing short of miraculous. 99-88 is the final score. Steph goes down early in the second quarter, and the Warriors respond by winning anyway. A true strength in numbers win. Buddy Hield, amazing for the second consecutive game. Jimmy Butler was flirting with a triple-double, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. Draymond Green had 18 points. He also was somewhat close to a triple-double, 18 and 8 and 6. He made 4 threes, and they all came in rapid succession in the second quarter, which was before and after Steph went down with the injury. You got great efforts from Pat Spencer off the bench. Kevon Looney came in and played really meaningful minutes in the fourth quarter, specifically on the defensive end. You got a little bit of something from just about everybody, and the Warriors win this game as a result. The final score, once again, 99-88, the Warriors. They win game 1 in Minnesota. They do it in a game where Steph doesn't even reach the 13-minute mark as he leaves with a left hamstring strain. We're going to hear from Coach Kerr coming up a little bit later on, but I'm going to spoil a little bit of what he says because we got to get this information out as soon as possible. Steve Kerr has already spoken. The Warriors are officially calling Steph Curry day-to-day with that left hamstring strain. Kerr said that Steph was, quote, crushed about the injury, and he added that the Warriors are operating under the assumption that they'll be without Steph Curry in Game 2. That is not official, but Steve Kerr said the Warriors are planning as if they won't have him, and that is the right way to go at this point, considering hamstring strains can be pretty tricky. You won Game 1. Not that Game 2 isn't important, but even if you had Steph, the Warriors' goal, I'm sure, was win at least one game on the road, and they've already done that. So we will see what Game 2 holds coming up. But again, the update from Steve Kerr, Steph Curry is day-to-day with the hamstring strain, and that the Warriors are operating under the assumption, again, it's not a done deal, they're operating under the assumption that they'll be without Curry in Game 2. That is the bad news. It is potentially really bad news. Hamstring strains can be really tricky. We don't know how long Steph is going to be out for. We don't even know for sure if he's going to miss Game 2. That is the bad news, and it has the potential to be really, really bad news. But the Warriors found a way to win this game anyway. Again, the final score 99-88, and we could go up and down the roster, and we could find something that each and every Warrior that played in this game, how they contributed and helped the Warriors win this one. So Warriors get off to a pretty good start in this one. They ultimately take an early lead. Actually, I got to rewind. This game started with a really awkward moment where it was found out less than a minute into the game that Buddy Hield was wearing the wrong shorts. So the Warriors had to waste a timeout as Buddy ran to the locker room to change his shorts. Then he came back in. Warriors ultimately take a 13-6 lead early, but then the offense went stagnant. It was Minnesota who answered with a quick 10-0 run. They ultimately take a lead going into the second quarter at 20-18. And then the Warriors, just a barrage from the outside in the second quarter. A Draymond 3 gave the Warriors an early lead. There was a Curry step-back 3 over Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The defensive possession right after that Steph step-back 3 was where I think he ultimately hurt his left hamstring, and it is indeed a hamstring strain for Steph. The Warriors have said he's officially day-to-day, but again, they're operating under the assumption that he will not play in Game 2. We shall see. That is not official. That's just the way, from a game plan perspective, Steve Kerr and the Warriors are planning for Game 2 as if they will not have Steph. If they have Steph, then we'll see how it goes. But there was that Steph 3. Then even on the injured left leg, Steph had a pull-up floater. Draymond then hit another 3. That was part of a 12-0 Warrior run. They eventually turned it into an 18-2 run. Draymond Green, over the course of the first 5 minutes of the second quarter, He made 4 threes. Draymond made 4 threes over the first 5 minutes of the second quarter, including 3 in a span of 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're talking about Draymond freaking Green here. Not Steph Curry, not even Buddy Hield. Draymond Green. 4 threes in the first 5 minutes of the second. He made 3 in a minute 20. He checks out. And the Warriors built a 14-point lead at that point. It was the largest lead that they had in the game, and they ultimately, going into halftime, they turn that into they keep pace, essentially a 13-point lead at 44-31 through 2. When Steph checked out, Warriors were up 10. Which means over the rest of that second quarter, the Warriors actually outscored the T-Wolves 14-11 without Steph. And I think it's the theme of this game today. The Warriors, a strength in numbers victory. No Steph, maybe not necessarily no problem. If you were watching the TNT telecast of the game, you probably caught Jimmy Butler on the post-game walk-off interview on TNT, and he was asked essentially, like, you were able to win this game without Steph. What does that tell you? What did you learn about your team? And he essentially said, well, I learned that Steph is our best player, and it becomes so much more difficult to play without him. And he looked absolutely winded. He ultimately plays 41 minutes and 16 seconds. Buddy Hield played a second shy of 40 minutes. Draymond was up above 34 minutes. It was a tall task for those three specifically, but they got it done. Buddy Hield, 24 points in this game, 7 of 19 from the field, 5 of 8 from downtown. But did you know what he did in the first half? Buddy Hield in the first half had just 2 points on 0 of 5 shooting and did not attempt a 3 in the first half. That means in the second half, playing an entire half of basketball without Steph, Buddy Hield scored 22 points. He was 7 of 14 from the field. He was 5 for 8 from downtown, including the third quarter where the Warriors pushed their lead up to 20, and they held on for dear life at times in the fourth quarter. 16 third quarter points for Buddy Hield, 5 for 9 from the field, and 3 for 6 from downtown in that third quarter. Buddy Hield was the Warriors' savior once again. Wow, Buddy freaking Hield, Draymond freaking Green. Jimmy Butler was really, really good again. Again, flirting with the triple-double, 20 points, 11 rebounds. 7 of them were offensive rebounds, by the way. 7 offensive rebounds for Jimmy Butler. Add on to that 8 assists, 2 steals, only turned the ball over once, and once Steph checked out, Jimmy was the Warriors' primary initiator. I mentioned this was a strength in numbers victory. Gary Payton II hit one of the biggest shots in this basketball game. Towards the end of the fourth quarter, Minnesota got back within 9 at 85-76, 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The closest they had been in a really long time, since like early in the second quarter, the closest that they had been, within 9, 6 to go. The crowd was into it in Minnesota. They had all of the momentum, and I don't know how you guys felt out there. The way I felt was, I'm not sure the Warriors have enough offense to bring this one home. And then what happens? Jimmy Butler drives, kicks to the corner, GP2, open 3, splash, gets it from the corner, and then after that, it was Jimmy Butler with a little bit. Oh, and then it was a Hield corner 3 or left wing 3 off another Butler assist. And the Warriors, they ultimately go back ahead by double digits, and then they ride those shots to a victory. There was also a stretch earlier where a similar run for Minnesota, and it was Buddy Hield that made a 3. Then Jimmy Butler, a mid-range shot off a broken play. It was just, I mean, the offense in the fourth quarter was a struggle. The Warriors only scored 19 points in the fourth. Every single one of those points were huge, and it felt like the Warriors had to scratch and claw for every single one of those made field goals. It was not easy, but they found a way to get it done, and you really got to shout out their defense as well, specifically in the first half. I mean, Minnesota only 31 points in the first half. They did not make a 3 until the third quarter. They were 0 for 15 from deep in the first half. Wow. What a Warrior win offensively. Again, the heavy lifting was Buddy Hield, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. You had a nice couple of clutch buckets from Gary Payton II. Jonathan Kuminga made a big three to begin the fourth quarter. He had 7 points. He had a timely bucket or two. You got contributions up and down the lineup. Pat Spencer, a big stretch in the third quarter. He kind of calmed things down, made a couple of buckets, got a couple of steals. One of them led to a Buddy Hield three. I thought Pat Spencer really was good in his minutes. And then everybody playing well defensively. Podziemski really struggled offensively, and his shot is something that we're going to have to talk about a little bit later on. 1 for 7 from the field. But he was part of the reason why the Warriors were able to limit Anthony Edwards. He scored 23 points, but had 9 of 22 shooting. He scores 23 on 22 shots. You will take that every single time. And he had just 1 point in the first half. Did not make a field goal in the first half. I thought Podziemski defensively was good. Draymond was amazing defensively. Jimmy Butler was good defensively. GP2 was good defensively. Kevon Looney, maybe the unsung hero of this Warrior team, and it's been that way for a couple of years now. Maybe not quite as much this year as in years past, but I thought his minutes in the fourth quarter were amazing. Draymond Green checked out with his 5th foul, 6 minutes and 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 6:37 left. And again, this is kind of in the middle of a Minnesota run, and Draymond has to check out. And I think everybody around Dub Nation is holding their breath in this moment. What is Minnesota going to do? Their offense is getting into a rhythm. Draymond checks out. This might get ugly now. And what does Kevon Looney and the Warriors do with Draymond on the bench? Draymond checks out. Looney checks in. Over the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds of basketball, essentially until Draymond checked back in, the Warriors, led by Kevon Looney defensively and others, but Kevon Looney a big part of it, both defending shots and grabbing defensive rebounds. The Warriors did not allow Minnesota to make a single field goal over those 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Kevon Looney with a huge contribution in that fourth quarter, because the way it was going offensively for the Warriors in the fourth, they had 5 points through 6 minutes. The first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, 5 points in 6 minutes to begin the quarter. The way it was looking offensively, it kind of felt like the Warriors might need to hold Minnesota to 20-ish points to win that basketball game in the fourth. Now, the Warriors offense eventually got into a little bit of a rhythm after that 6-minute mark of the fourth, but who knows how it feels or how it plays out if the Warriors don't get those stops, and they did it thanks in no small part to Kevon Looney. I thought he was awesome defensively in that fourth quarter. This truly was a strength in numbers win for the Warriors.